comments. Let me tell you the funniest comment that I got. Yeah, I went to church for a funeral to my mum's old church, and this lady came. You know, like, this older lady that I kind of grew up with. She's got Locs. This other, you like SAMSON. This another. Yeah.
SAMSON.
Yeah. She came out with, you know, you need to cut that. In a jokey way though.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to cut that, you know, like you can't go to heaven with Locs.
Hey guys, and it's Salem here from Roots to Tip Eco, and welcome back to our Saturday morning kitchen edition where we talk to you about your hair journeys, what to do to your hair, the best things to use, and most importantly, what concerns you have. I'm here to actually help you on your journey and help you with any queries you have regarding hair education, regarding shampooing your hair, why is your hair not growing, what you should do underneath the wig. But today we're talking about locks. We're talking to Malachi, who's had locks for nearly 5 years. So I want to find out if he knows how to care for his hair properly, having locks, what he does during the week, how he maintains his locks, how long he's been growing them for, because a lot of guys out there have locks and are not sure what to do with them or with their hair. So let's get straight into it. So Malachi, hello.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good.
And I've known Malachi for probably almost 7 years now. And when I first met Malachi, he had just short back and sides, isn't it? Short back and sides. And that was the thing.
Fade, kind of thing.
Fades. And now he's fully locked up. So tell us, how long have you had locks for?
So I started my locks in February 2015.
Okay.
February 2015 or 2016. It's been 4.5 years.
4.5 years, okay.
But I had started growing it, I guess, about 6-7 months before, from like a low phase. Okay. And yeah, I got to like interlock it in the February.
So what kind of inspired you to be on the lock journey? It's quite popular now. Everyone has locks now. Back in the day it wasn't so popular, but now locks are the thing, the fashion statement, they're the cool hairstyle to have. So what kind of inspired you?
I mean, I could probably tell this story a few ways. But yeah, I mean, I'd been thinking about it for probably about 5 years prior to that. Like when I graduated from university, I started thinking about it. Like I'm naturally quite into reggae culture, dancehall, and just, I don't know. There's that association with locks for me, and it was something I wanted to do. But coming out of university and thinking about getting a job and everything, at the time, it seemed like something that would go against me. Yeah,
not professional.
Yeah. So to an extent, I would always talk about it, but I never actually got going. And do you remember when I went to St. Lucia? Yeah. I went to St. Lucia for 2 months. I think that was 2015. And I mean, I had my, you know, like every guy has their barber that they go to. So my barber's in London, I didn't have that there. And I was there for 2 months. I got my trim just before I went. And about a month into being there, and I was going to an event, and I needed to get a trim. So I asked my friends like who I should go to, and they suggested someone. Long story short, this guy cut my nose, like trying to give me a trim, like I'm bleeding out, like it's hot.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like,
that's insane.
I kind of abandoned the trim like mid, because like I'm bleeding everything. And speaking to my cousin about it, and I'm like, how have I got like, I think I had a party to go to as well a couple of weeks later, and I was like to my cousin, like, how am I gonna be here for another month and not be able to get a trim? It's another, and my cousin had just started locks probably a year or so before. And he was like, grow locks, like, what are you doing? And I was like, it was literally that. I was like, all right, cool.
That was it. That was the vision.
And I just started from there. It was kind of a random thing. Like as I said, it was definitely in my mind, but the decision to actually start was kind of random. And yeah, I haven't looked back since.
So you've seen like thousands of guys now have locks. It's so popular in America as well. A lot of rappers have locks, especially in London. I'm trying to think now. How did your family take it? Your mum, for example, when you first locked up?
Wait. When I said I was getting lots, I was like, nah, you know, these times I'm a big man. Like, I was about 25, 26, and my mum was like, "You're gonna get Locs." I'm like, "Cool, if you say so." And I just carried on. I mean, I've heard that you get both sides with Locs. I think Locs have that kind of connotation. You get all kinds of comments, but I mean, for me, I just owned it, and like, no one's not gonna tell me what to do with my hair. I think, as I said, the difference between me at 20 years old when I was thinking about it, and by the time I'd gone through certain things and decided to do it, I didn't really care what anyone's opinion was.
So do you think your looks are like a strong part of your identity now?
100%.
Yeah, 100%. You said that so quick, like, yes, that's who I am.
I mean, it's definitely, for me, more than, I mean, people do it for different reasons. It's more than a hairstyle for me.
Okay.
I mean, for me, it's just a natural way of being. I'm kind of that way. I've never been a metrosexual kind of guy, like having to like keep up. And even though I said I'll get my trim and stuff, I've never been into like having to look how people want you to, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like always perfect and stuff. And for me, having locks is like that kind of natural state of being. You'll probably find out I don't maintain it as much as I should.
We'll get into
but
that.
it allows me to kind of just have my hair and
just get up and go.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about it. So how about, would you say, you said like it's more than just hair to you, it's more than just a style, is it like spiritual, would you say?
I think spiritual in the sense of me being comfortable with myself, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily say spiritual how some people think about it, but I think
it's like the Rastafarian kind of association.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, but for myself it's just kind of being aware of myself and just what's important to me. Like, it's not necessarily about that outward, like I love my locks the way it looks, but it's not about me trying to fit into anything, if that makes sense.
And you mentioned something else, you mentioned about being professional. How's your past workplaces or people you've worked for actually received you having locks? Did you have any issues with that?
I haven't had any real issues. I'd get like, so I teach off and on, so I come into contact with different people a lot, and I've had, one or two comments about, I mean, the one I get a lot is it real? Like, a lot of people will think that I've added hair to my hair or that it's not real.
Are they black?
Especially people from different cultures.
Okay.
My mum asked me if I added hair to my hair, and I had to.
Really?
Yeah. I've had a few people in my family friends that they'd be like, "That's not all your hair, is it?" I'm like,
but that's the whole myth. We don't think we can grow long hair.
Yeah.
And that's like a whole other conversation, but we as a people, as a community, do not appreciate that we can grow our hair with the right hair education. I always talk about that, but we can grow our hair to as long as we want. I mean, my father had locks when I was a baby, and he had like locks down to his knees, literally down to his knees. He's a Rasta, and he's got locks again now. His hair grows super fast. Because when you lock your hair, you're not manipulating it.
That's what I always say. I say that to a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's from working with you and Root to Tip. I know that's something that is quite important, and which is what locks allow you to do as well. Is kind of it's low manipulation. You just allow your hair to grow, and it's gonna.
It just does its thing. So we actually have super long hair just wanting to come out, but the constant manipulation means that we don't ever realise that. So I know women who've had like relaxed hair, really thin. Relaxed hair that wouldn't really grow past their shoulders, and now they've got locks. Their hair's like way down their backs, and it just looks so royal. When you see a girl with locks, does she look different to a girl who's wearing the wig or the weave? Is there a difference there, do you think?
I mean, for me, I'm personally more into natural hairstyles anyway. So yeah, I like locks on women. But for me, it's more, I prefer natural. What I mean is everyone's personal choice. But I definitely prefer like a natural hairstyle.
Natural hairstyles, which is cool. Yeah. And I think it's nice that in 2020 I think the world's kind of letting us be more of ourselves, even though in America they passed a law in different states.
I mean, as I said, the way I was thinking about work before, it's definitely changed, because I noticed, I mean, before this lockdown stuff, I used to commute into London quite a bit, and I would see, it would put a smile on my face. I'd be in like Bank, St. Paul's, and I'm seeing obviously younger black guys going to work in their suits and they've got, you know, little twist outs and kind of things, afro, that whole kind of look, and it was. So
it's a nice feeling.
I definitely think there's been progress up to now.
It's taking a minute.
Where afro hair is more, or black hair is more accepted for what it is, I think. And it's been a struggle, and obviously there's been loads of like high profile kind of incidents and campaigns and this, that and that other, and loads of people that are bringing the issue to the forefront. And I think it's having a positive effect, definitely.
And you know what as well, I think for me, I mean, being a parent, it's nice for children growing up, seeing that as their normal. Like, for example, seeing there's a newsreader, Charlene White, who has a natural hair twist out, whatever, and I think it's just amazing for little black girls watching that. So you know what?
Oh, we would never see that.
You don't see, I never saw that. Up. No, you probably didn't see it either. I didn't see that at all growing up. So I know that for our kids coming up now, it's a nice thing to see. Have to embrace it. But I want to hear a bit more about. Did you have any struggles in your lock journey? What was the? Did you ever think, you know, it's too much for me? Because starting out is easy, but the maintenance.
I think probably for me, the hardest part was the beginning. That's what everyone says. I mean, when I first started it, people thought I wouldn't, because a lot of people start locks and won't
they can't
follow through with it or whatever.
Finish it.
People thought that, you know, there's that struggle stage, they'll say, where they think you're gonna cut it or whatnot. So I think the beginning was quite difficult, and because my hair is quite I don't know what you call it, but it's kind of, I don't know if you call it soft or whatever, but basically in the beginning, when I would get it retwisted, it would, obviously because it hadn't locked properly, it would like be messy within, and I'm worried, like I'm like, is it actually working? And I'll be like talking to my loctician, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've just done my hair and it's messy already, like what's going on? Just not understanding that that's part of the process. So I think a lot of people, and since I've locked, a few of my friends have started, and they've had the same kind of thing, like, oh, like what's going on? Like it's messy. I'm like, and I'll be like, you know, that's part of the process.
Bear with it.
Like, leave it. It'll be good. And that was probably the hardest part.
Okay. And your loctician, is she he or she? Because I find that sometimes locticians. Well, I get a lot of customers who come to me who have locks and their hair is thinning. And I say to them, well, sometimes the styles that are done by locticians are way too tight, and that leads to traction alopecia. So people have to realise, even though you have locks, you still have to maintain that slackness on the scalp, because it will eventually thin your hair out. Have you ever experienced a really tight hairstyle before?
Not really. Like once or twice, if there's a particular, in the beginning, it's probably because I've wanted to force a style to look good for something, like if I've got a wedding or something, and I'll come to my loctician, I've seen some picture on Instagram or something, like, yo, like, can you do this with me? And then she'll try and make it work. But generally I stick to one or two styles. I'm not that, I know there's a lot, like locks are so versatile, there's a lot you can do with them, but I kind of normally stick to 2-strand twist, 3-strand twist, that kind of thing, which are normally not that tight. And in general, I don't get my hair retwisted that often.
How often do you do it?
Average is like every 2 to 3 months.
Okay. What is the norm for when you're starting out?
I mean,
every 6
when I had
weeks?
the conversation, I think ladies like to, I don't know, it's not a disrespect thing, but I think that ladies love to be in their hair more.
We probably do, yeah, absolutely.
So, and they like it to look
a particular way.
Look nice. So I think, especially the women that I know that have locks, they're more likely to have more appointments or like just be retwisting it themselves. Okay. If that makes sense. So they probably would do it like every month or so.
Yeah, I think that's right. Mum has sister locks, and I think it was like every 6 weeks. But it's quite expensive. It's not.
My sister lock, yeah.
It's
for me,
well, not expensive, but it's an investment, isn't it? Yeah. Initially, in the beginning.
I mean, for me, most of the time, I won't do my hair until I've got something happening. So maybe it's a wedding or I'm going on holiday. Most of the time, I try to stick to those kind of things. In between that, I'm not really that bothered.
Just let it go, let it flow.
Yeah. Like right now, it's been
7 months. It's a long time. So for a woman, that would not be happening. She'd be itching to get ahead. I don't know, if you have sister locks, that appointment, I think at the minimum 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, maybe the max, but never 7 months. That'd be insane for a lady, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of enjoyed it, just being
free.
Yeah.
If there's any guy out there, or even a female, who's thinking about a lock journey, what would your three pieces of advice you can give to them? 3 things.
I'd say don't overthink it first. Like, just do it. If you feel that you want to do it, it's here. Like, just do it. Have patience.
Right.
Have patience, definitely, because as I said, there's certain points that it might be a struggle. Yeah, I guess just enjoy the journey in terms of, as you asked me about spirituality, people have like different connotations of what growing locks should be about and this, that, and other, but I think just own it for what you want to do it.
I think for my father, he's a proper Rastafarian. He's much older. I get that journey. I mean, Locs is a spiritual thing for a lot of people in Jamaica. There's a whole place in Jamaica, even though I haven't been there, but I know that there's just Rastas over there. They take it very seriously. So, for example, my father will not attend a funeral. He doesn't eat pork. He's very, very serious with it, and I respect that. And he gets a lot of respect from people as well. He has grey locks now, so he lives and reads any kind of thing in the Bible. He can tell you everything about anything. He's a proper scholar. So I think in the old days, I think locks kind of had that connotation. I know when he first had locks when he went to America, and he had a terrible time with the police. This was like in the early 90s. He had a lot of issues with the police, and he was kind of caught up with us. It's different now.
It is like you always get the ignorant comments and stuff that are still there, but I think generally people are a bit more aware and advanced with things. I mean, would you ask me? You said about comments. Let me tell you the funniest comment that I got. Yeah, I went to church for a funeral. Okay. My mom's old church, and this lady came. This older lady that I kind of grew up with, she was like, oh, yeah, you got locks, this, oh, you look like SAMSON, this, another, yeah.
SAMSON?
Yeah. She came out with, oh, you need to cut that. In a jokey way, though.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to cut that, like, you can't go to heaven with locks.
So she thought well, she's old school, was she Jamaican or just West Indian?
West Indian, yeah.
You can't go to heaven with locks.
And I'm thinking,
oh.
Huh? Like,
that's crazy.
Like the most random stuff. Like people just come out with the most random stuff. Like, and that's the power of the hairstyle. Like, it definitely gets
people talking.
A reaction, like do you know what I mean?
How about from like other races, like?
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard Asian, a lady. I think she's from the Philippines, and she just couldn't get her head around like how it happens. I'm like, I'm like, they roll it? Yeah. I'm like this. She's like, no. She's like, oh, can I touch it? That's not your hair, like that kind of thing.
They can't believe it. They just can't get your head around it.
Oh, and it must be dirty. Like, how do you wash it? I'm like, you just wash it.
Yeah. That's another
thing. You can't
wash
it though. She's like,
that rolls. That rolls nicely onto our next segment, actually. Maintenance of locks. What you should, what you shouldn't do. I think my mum, when she first had sister locks, she was told like not to wash her hair for like, I think it was about. Was they say when you're first starting out? It was a long time though. I think it was like, what were you told when you first started out? Not to wash your hair for the first, is it 8 weeks?
I can't remember being told,
No, I think it was about 8 weeks or, all I know is a long time. I'm thinking, Mum, your hair's gonna be so dry if you don't put water on this hair. So she kind of went against what she was told by her loctician on my say-so, and her locks thrived. Her locks grew really well. Her sister locks were not dry. So I kind of think if you are starting out on your lock journey, treat your hair the same way you would if your hair wasn't locked. So wash it regularly, add moisture to the hair. But we're going to get into Malachi's maintenance of locks. How are you doing that side? Is that bad?
It's a bit sticky.
Okay, so let's talk. What do you normally do like Monday to Friday? What's your routine, honest routine?
I mean, I put a leave-in conditioner. I normally do it before night, before I go to sleep. I will use something quite liquid-based, a spray, and will normally spray the roots to the hair. Every couple of days I will put like oil on the scalp, just to try and, I guess that's like for dandruff and stuff.
Yeah, keep your scalp healthy. And how about like washing, conditioning, that kind of thing?
I mean, yeah. So washing is not really my strong suit. So previously I would always need someone to do it for me, and I've tried to learn. I still don't think I know how to do it properly, to be honest. And then when I get my hair retwisted, my loctician will wash it for me. And she's like, when's the last time you washed your hair? Now, for me, I wouldn't have washed it like that long before, but for her, there'll still be like oil and build up and stuff. Okay. So yeah, I'm not the best at that, to be honest. It's probably something I need to learn.
I think a lot of men who have locks, they probably get a female or the girlfriend or whatever to wash their hair. That's not unusual. But I think if you are a man at home and you are thinking, how often should I wash my hair? I'll just cut in and say to you, at least, I would say at least once every 2 weeks. If you can do once a week, I think that would be good for your hair and scalp as well, because I find that locks can be quite dry. Have you had that? Anyone said to you, your hair's really dry before?
Yeah, probably.
Quite dry. Yeah, so I think maintaining moisture in locks is really important, really key. So washing your hair at least once a week, moisturising your hair at least once a day. So you say you normally do your moisturising at night?
Yeah, so like, to be honest, it depends on like what's going on, but normally I'd say every 2-3 days.
Okay.
But I guess I should, as you said, do it every day.
Yeah, I think if you think about your hair, and even if your hair wasn't locked, I say to everybody, just add some moisture to your hair on a daily basis. We use our honey rain juice for that, just because you can just spray and go. The Afro hair is inherently dry. That means from the time it comes out of your scalp, that hair is just going to be worn dry. So you need to add moisture on a daily basis to maintain hydration, maintain health, and to keep the colour in. I find that if locks are really dry, the colour's kind of greyish. As soon as you add moisture and wash those locks, they look alive, even though the hair's actually dead.
Yeah.
So that's something to bear in mind. But do you ever use conditioner on your locks?
Yeah.
Or have you had that done before?
Oh yeah, when I wash it, I do use conditioner as well.
And the hair, your loctician, is she?
Yeah, she does that.
Okay, cool. Exactly. So you can use conditioner on your locks as well. And again, it will just soften them, and then you rinse thoroughly. I wouldn't advise. Then again, I wouldn't advise things like henna treatments. But you can do if you're willing to take the time, and then you just really rinse them through. I think the main concern with locks is the amount of time it takes to dry. Have you experienced like? When you wash your hair?
It's only recently that normally when I would wash it, I would let it air dry.
Okay.
For the most part, and it takes ages. But the last time I did it, I used a hairdryer.
Okay.
But I did it on like the low heat. It was basically cold. Okay. But it just kind of helped
trying to get the air out.
Some of it. Yeah.
What you could do is, if you're washing your hair or thinking about, I've got to go somewhere, I want to wash my locks, I want to give them a quick refresh, you can do a co-wash with locks. Just use conditioner, skip the shampoo part, just maintain it on the scalp and just run it through. But then wrap your hair in a t-shirt and try and get a lot of the water out and just keep it on for about 5-10 minutes, and that should eliminate that dripping in my experience. Yeah. Or you can just wrap your hair up as well in a bun or in a man bun.
See, them kind of things, I ain't got them skills there. can't do that. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
A man ponytail then, and then just be on your journey. But I think it's really important to wash your hair, whether it's locked or not, at least once a week. Especially if you go to the gym. The Malachi, I think you work out a lot, right?
Yeah, usually.
Right. So if you work out a lot, all the sweat on your face is also on your scalp as well, and that is bacteria building up over time. So you want to make sure you rid your hair and scalp of that. And if you didn't wash your face after going to the gym for say 3 to 4 weeks, you can imagine the bacteria just breeding there. So it's the same for your scalp, and it also just allows your hair to grow freely. Follicles are not blocked up. But styling and oiling the scalp, do you do that frequently?
When you say styling, you mean like actually doing that stuff?
Yeah, do you do it yourself, or is it only when you go to locticians?
I don't do anything. In between me going to my locticians, I don't do anything.
Okay.
Like, my hair goes from between this and in a ponytail, that's it.
Okay. That's a good thing about locks. It allows you to be really free. You don't have to spend a lot of time. You don't have to style locks. Locks are the style themselves. So, ladies know that's why we wear braids all the time. Braids just give us that freedom to just get up and go. Yeah. And that's what we need. So that's cool. And oiling the scalp, that's what I was going to ask you actually. I said styling and oiling the scalp. How often do you oil your scalp?
That's every, say like 3-4 days.
Okay. So that's quite important as well, just to maintain regular blood flow to the roots. Make sure the scalp is not dry. Scalp massage as well. Yeah, scalp massage is the key. 4 minutes a day if you are trying to stimulate growth. So for those who are just starting out on a lock journey, my 3 pieces of advice: first of all, wash your hair. I'm not saying you should go against all the advice from your loctician, but wash your hair at least once a week, once your locks are formed, and you can use conditioner too. Make sure you're oiling your scalp. I would say at least once a week as well. A 4-minute massage actually stimulates growth, and also add moisture to the locks themselves so they're not feeling dry and brittle. And once your hair is moisturized, your locks are moisturized, they will look alive. You're actually going to show us as well how you moisturize your locks. We're going to get a demo from Malachi. What has been the worst thing that's happened to you with locks, or any kind of embarrassing story you might have or incident?
The first time like one broke.
Okay.
That was stressful.
That was stressful.
I'm like, to my loctician, like, what's going on? Like, just because it would thin out at the ends and break.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the main one. Apart from that, it's been kind of smooth journey. As I said, the beginning was just in terms of getting used to, but when it was setting into locks.
Locks are cool then, so I think we're all good with locks. Over here, at Rooted Tip Eco, we love locks. We have loads of customers who have locks, and Malachi is going to show us how to moisturize your locks using our products. But I hope this has been helpful for you guys. My thing is just be yourself. Have locks, embrace yourself, embrace the hair you want to have. As Malachi said, be patient, comfortable in why you want to do it for yourself. I think this is that era of just being yourself, whatever that is. Just do it. Just go for it. But thank you for watching this edition of our Saturday morning Afro Kitchen. We were talking about locks, we're talking about Malachi's lock journey. And yeah, thank you. Stay tuned for more.